Hey Tom, just to start, what's the status with Jalen Williams? How's he progressing through concussion protocol?
Yeah, he's progressing very well. Optimistic for his opportunity to be able to play on Saturday. We'll know for sure tomorrow, but I feel good about him.
All right, Kevin and Zach.
Yeah, Coach. I'm just curious about. I guess this was another week where you probably piped in a lot of crowd noise. How much did the experience at Iowa, you think, being through that, maybe kind of help you? And how are you guys gearing up in terms of that aspect of the game with 107,000 on Saturday?
Yeah, it's definitely, I think, to answer your question about Iowa, definitely will help. Anytime you have a chance to experience something, it gives you something to draw from in that experience. But won't be quite like it will be. Obviously, it's going to be a night game on this Saturday, and be more fans in the stands and be louder. So, but that helps for sure. Yeah, you pump in the noise and you do all that for practice, and you just fall back on the habits and the fundamentals and the technique that you've built upon, and the foundation that you have to be able to handle that environment so you can play your best.
Zach and Dylan.
Hey Tom, I guess a little bit off beat, but I'm doing a story about Charles and I've kind of talked to him just about sort of his journey. But from your perspective, what was, I guess, your program's journey to him? How did you find him? How did you evaluate him? Kind of what I know you've always stressed, having a scholarship kicker, scholarship punter, but why him specifically?
Yeah, we did a national search, to be honest with you, and we have different kicking services that we, reach out to, and those guys, we talk to those guys, and they have guys that they train, and that we're able to get a lot of information from that, and then we invited a whole pool of guys to come to camp over the summer before we made the decision to offer him, and he was one of those guys, and part of that process is, everything like we always talk about, it's a fit for your program, and there was a connection with us, he's from the same town when I was at Lambeth University. I knew his dad from way back then, oddly enough, but that wasn't necessarily why we took him, but there definitely was a connection, and so it also gave us a ability to know his family and the kind of character we're going to get in regards to the young man and how he was raised and the guy that would fit with us. And so bottom line was he came to our camp, and he performed at a very, very high level. And but it came down to a couple guys that you try and had to make a decision on. And there are just some things that we talked about with those that have trained him and those that have worked with him. Just about accuracy. That was a big thing for me. Obviously, you want leg strength without question, but the accuracy is really, really big. Being able to make in the range where the field goals usually happen, to be able to consistently get those points, and just a guy that you could to trust to be able to perform. But you never know. It's definitely, it's like every position you go through. But I felt like we did a very thorough job. Coach McInerney, both Ryan and Jeff were involved in that back then, and more heavily Jeff was for sure. And those guys played a huge role in that process of being able to locate the best kickers in the country, get them to campus, and then make the decision from there.
Dylan and Matt.
Yeah, Tom, yesterday we talked to Cam Jones just about how he was originally recruited as a wide receiver, I guess, and then, he went from essentially backing up Marcelino Husky to free safety before going to linebacker. Just what do you guys see in him that made you want to switch him from offense to defense and then eventually to linebacker? And just how did he kind of respond to all those kind of switches and eager ability to kind of switch positions and stuff?
Yeah, I'd say in the beginning, we knew he was a really good athlete. We just weren't really sure where he was going to, end up. But yes, he was committed to us as a receiver. At first, he played wildcat quarterback. He played running back. Obviously receiver. He played defensive end. He didn't play linebacker though, which is crazy. But he was just always around the ball. A great athlete from a small school, and so you just kind of saw the potential. And then once again, you go back to just finding guys that fit with you. He had length. He had athleticism. As you said, we started him at Husky once he got here. Just thought he had the defensive mentality. The more you're around him, when watching practice, he had a burst and a strike to him that didn't necessarily see all that in high school because he played more offense than he did defense in high school, but even just playing defensive end and chasing the quarterback and bursting the ball. You can see all those things. And but I kind of always felt like he would be probably a stinger for us as he kind of grew and got stronger and bigger and faster. And that's exactly what happened. And his he hasn't played a lot of linebacker up until he got here. So that's been something that really has helped him even these last couple seasons. He's really gotten a chance to get a lot of reps in the box, because it's one thing to run and hit and tackle guys in space, but it's having a feel for the box. So to me, he's just a great kid. He's ended up being everything we hoped he would be as a man in regards to his character and his leadership, and caring about school and doing things the right way off the field. And his work ethic in the weight room is phenomenal. And his leadership has just really kind of gone to a whole nother level. So, but you recruit guys to your standard of fit for your culture, and they have the athletic ability to make plays, and then you get them in the right spots once you get them here.
All right, Matt and Mike.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Doing good, Matt, buddy. How are you?
I'm okay. Wanted to ask about Marcelino. Obviously, this last year was limited in the spring. Just what have you seen from him so far? I'm sure there's probably a little bit of rust that he had to knock off early on this season, but how's he kind of progressed from the first game of the season to obviously this past week?
Yeah, I think he's progressed quite a bit. The first one I think was challenging. Obviously being out for an entire year. Even the psychological confidence of being able to play. With that type of injury coming back, really going. We didn't do a lot of live with him. Obviously not a quarterback, but we were very careful with him during fall camp. I think he only tackled in one scrimmage. And so that was something that we knew we were going to kind of build through. And even just per the style of play that Iowa had, we thought he would probably be more involved as the season progresses because of being maybe a little more base defense against that type of personnel. But, I just feel like every week he's growing in that confidence. And you're right, there was definitely some rust from that. But bottom line is he's just continuing to get better. And it's even understanding some of the adjustments we made in our system, things we've added to be able to make us better. He's really picked those things up and just continues to grow. And it's just about trusting, that he's 100% healthy, which he is, and the ability to just get out there and just read and react, and make plays. He's obviously got a tremendous amount of physical talent, of strength and speed to get to the football. And that way he can just trust his reads and keys and not have to think too much. So I think every week he gets a little bit better.
Mike and Patrick.
Yeah, hey Coach, you've prepped now for Sean Clifford for a few years now. I'm curious, as you looked at him this week on film, what's kind of popped as different? Because he seems like he's off to a really good start this year.
Yeah, he is. He's a great quarterback. He's just a tough, hard-nosed kid, great competitor, a lot of respect for him. Love how he plays the game. He's got toughness to him that you want to see at that position. And I would say, just as commenting about watching the film, he's, last year we played him, it was the first game of the season, so you didn't have any film to watch. But he's throwing the ball with a lot of confidence and a lot of higher percentage completions and doing a great job protecting the football. And he's just seen his growth, and continues to be effective with his legs. And he's hurt us in the past with that, and obviously he hurt us throwing the ball as well. So you can just tell, great leader, great player. He's a big reason why they're as good as they are and why they're in the position that they're in. So yeah, great quarterback.
Patrick, and then we'll wrap up with Dustin.
Hey, this weekend's game, it's IU's first time playing on ABC Saturday Night Football. Obviously a national spotlight, a big game. What's it mean for your program to get that national TV slot?
Well, it's just the next big game here at Indiana, and our players know it's the biggest game of the season because it's the next one, and happens to be at night, happens to be on ABC, in a great venue, tons of tradition, history there at Penn State. So just excited for the opportunity. I think you build your program, and you build each and every year, and you want to be able to put your players in position to be able to have opportunities like this. When you talk to them in recruiting, to be able to come to Indiana and a chance to compete against the best teams in the country on a national spotlight. So awesome opportunity for this program, and I'm excited for our kids to be able to be in this environment and play the very best.
All right, Dustin, last one.
Tom, obviously you guys played the up-tempo against Western Kentucky last week. Penn State's doing a little bit more about that. What was the value of being able to play a team that does up-tempo and then do it again, in terms of being able to coach the kids and remind them of just what it takes from a conditioning standpoint and just a detailed standpoint to be running the line like this? How much value was there from going from that last week to this?
Yeah, I think a lot of value, and I think that bottom line is, when you go through and evaluate and you see things and you see what they're doing offensively, a lot of similarities for sure, and they're going to go very fast, and so that gave us a chance to be able to look at things, see things, experience it, feel it, in terms of even how we practiced it, to do things better the second time, and learn from the mistakes that we made in that situation. So it's very stressful on the defense. Talk to obviously other coaches that have played against them, and they do a tremendous job with that. And so we know it's going to be a big part of the game on Saturday night. So, but I think anytime you can experience something, just like the crowd noise, just like all those different variables, it helps you the second time. It doesn't necessarily make it, easier. It's still going to be very challenging, but it does help you as you prepare. And really, at the end of the day, it's always about preparation. That's the key to everything that you do. So I do think it's allowed us to be able to be more well prepared because we played it last week.
All right, thanks, Tom.
All right, have a great day, guys. Elio.